Mazuma TV in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive weekend. Just kicking back at the crib for the weekend, man. Finally got some downtime, so I figured I'd make a video just showing love to the nation, showing love to the mob. On the road to 2K, man. We about to hit that 1100 mark, man. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button to get the algorithm going, and hit the bell notification and select the option all, so you know when I'll be posting videos and going on live. You know what I mean? What I want to talk about today is just me just expanding on the whole situation with Keyshawn Davis. I had more time to think about the situation. And I believe I was one of the first people on YouTube that came out and said exactly why Keyshawn Davis had gotten his W reversed to a no contest along with the 90-day suspension. But a lot of people wasn't really believing what I was saying initially. You know what I mean? I had a good friend of mine who's also a credible source. I had reached out to him and said exactly what was going on because it didn't look too good at first. You know what I mean? A lot of people were alluding to the fact that he may have been using performance enhancement drugs or whatever, but he had told me that it was weed. You know what I mean? He told me it was weed. I went on, and then there were people like, "Oh, where are you getting this information from? Where are you getting this information from?" Well, now that ESPN and everybody else has reported on it, now everybody's coming back apologizing. But it is what it is, man. My source has been more right than wrong. You know what I mean? So I trust the man. But regardless, there's been a lot of people that have been on both sides of the spectrum in terms of this whole Keyshawn situation, because Keyshawn has made it clear that he's taking accountability for the situation. He says that he uses marijuana. You know what I mean? He said he uses marijuana. It's not like he's going around saying that he doesn't know how this happened or anything like that. He's blatantly telling you, yo, yeah, this is me. Yeah, I mean, I was using this, and he doesn't regret it. You know what I mean? He said he doesn't regret it, and he actually says that he intends on using it after this, just not when the drug testing comes around. He said that blatantly clear. And just to give y'all further context on the situation, here's Keyshawn's post in regards to the situation. I put it up on live, but fuck it, I'm gonna just read over it again. Keyshawn Davis says, "I truly apologize to my family and supporters for not being able to fight. I feel extremely bad for not being able to perform." So it seems like that's the only thing he really regrets. You know what I mean? He was supposed to fight Jose Pedraza, which would have been a great fight for him to take on and really show the people where he's at. And the fact that Top Rank is matching him against Pedraza just shows that they really believe in this kid's ability. You know what I mean? Either that or they trying to line him. You know what I mean? But Jose Pedraza has been on the decline. He lost his last couple fights, but he's a war. He's a seasoned fighter, battle tested for sure. So we really would have seen how good Keyshawn really is at this point in his career. But regardless, it seems like that'll be going on further down the line if the opportunity presents itself again. He says, however, rules are rules, and unfortunately, this boxing commission still feels Mary Jane as a performance enhancement substance, when in today's time, the same substance is used for medical purposes and can be bought either medically or recreational. What we do for a living isn't easy at all. Only us fighters feel the pain after we go through a full training camp with the sparring, underlying injuries we may have, but still have to fight through it because we have to get paid. He wrote stomach issues, as well as going through the pressure we face day in and day out of our career. So pause that. So he's pretty much telling you exactly why he's using marijuana. You know what I mean? It's not like he's using it for fun or anything like that. He believes that he's using marijuana due to the things that he has to overcome during training camps. You know what I mean? He says sparring is hard. You know what I mean? I guess he's alluding to being like sore and just having like little nagging injuries. And he's even brought up some stomach issues. Now I could speak on that. 100% because I do have a chronic illness that has to do with my stomach. And I've used marijuana in the past to help me with my stomach issues. And I could say that it genuinely helps. You know what I mean? It genuinely helps. It definitely suppresses the pain while you're taking marijuana. You know what I mean? But and he's also saying like just the stress and anxiety of having a long boxing camp. You know what I mean? And I know that full and well, because just being a trainer now is extremely stressful, getting fighters ready for events. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what he's talking about. He goes on to say, this is a brutal combat sport. Me personally, wait, hold on. He said, this is a brutal combat sport, and me personally is not using this as an excuse, but this is the reality us fighters go through. Moving forward, I will better manage the time frame, so I will not pop for the drug test again, but I will not stop doing something that is now legal and being sold in our country, America. So he pretty much saying that he's just going to be better with his time management while using marijuana. You know what I mean? So I guess he has like a fair estimate of a time frame in which he'll be taking a drug test, and he'll have it out of his system before then. And he's saying that he's not going to stop because it works for him. He goes on to say, I'm speaking up for all the fighters, athletes out there under contract saying Mary Jane is prohibited, especially being that it's sold as a medical drug in America. Let's move forward in today's world and end this. Thank you. So he's looking for some type of change. You know what I mean? He took full accountability. He apologized for the fans for blowing the opportunity later on in December against Jose Pedraza. But he's standing on it, man. He's standing on it. He's making it clear that he doesn't want to stop using marijuana, and he's just gonna not use it when the drug test comes around. You know what I mean? And there's people who've been on both sides of the fence. There's some people that believe that Keyshawn should have that ability to smoke marijuana whenever he feels like it's necessary. And then there's other people that's saying, yo, like, you going against the grain, bro. Like, you really putting yourself in situations where you could hurt your career. And in all honesty, I think him not fighting Jose Pedraza at the end of the year, that's an L, man. That's an L. And then on top of that, you just went through a hard training camp, got a good win against a solid opponent in Nair Albright, and they took it away from you because you decided to use marijuana. You know what I mean? This happened to fighters like Chris Arreola in the past. I think that actually happened in Texas as well. I think he fought Travis Kaufman. Got caught with marijuana, and they gave him the same type of punishment. You know what I mean? And we've seen it with athletes all over, and just to give you guys some further context as to why marijuana is banned, because I had just looked this up as well. It says smoking any product, including marijuana, could damage the lungs, increase risk of bronchitis, and scar small blood vessels. You know what I mean? That's what the CDC is saying. Smoking marijuana could also increase the risk for stroke, heart disease, and other vascular diseases. And there's been several athletes that have been caught as a result of using marijuana. Like Sha'Carri Richardson, they was trying to take her out the game when she tested positive for marijuana. Michael Phelps, he got caught with a bong. You know what I mean? They didn't take his medals away, but he faced some backlash as well. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, more specifically, they banned Nick Diaz. I'm sorry, Nate Diaz's brother, Nick Diaz. They gave him a 5-year suspension for using marijuana in the UFC. You know what I mean? It's sad, and that basically ruined that man's career, because he came back against Robbie Lawler a shell of himself. You know what I mean? That really took a lot of time off his career, a lot of time sitting back. And I'm sure they've overturned the decision since then, because now we're seeing guys like Conor McGregor smoking weed, healing from his injuries and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a common thing in sports, and it seems like because marijuana is becoming recreational and people using it for medical purposes, it seems like it's something that you could do openly now. But there's some athletic commissions that not playing that shit, man, and they punishing these dudes for doing so. You know what I mean? I believe at one particular time, WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, was considering taking marijuana off their banned substances list, but they've maintained it since then, because they believe that it actually takes away from a fighter in terms of reflexes and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Slow reaction timing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I came on the live yesterday and I spoke and I said that Keyshawn shouldn't. I don't think that him using marijuana is like bad enough as to where they need to take a W off of his record. That's what bothers me more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, he fought hard for that win. He trained his ass off for that camp. You know what I mean? Made a lot of sacrifices. And because he decided to smoke weed, you guys just overturned his decision as if the marijuana was the reason why he won. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that at all. I think they should have just maintained. They should have still kept that win up there for him. But I mean, the 90-day suspension is cool because although he was fighting Pedraza in December, he was doing a little quick turnaround. Fighters nowadays only fight like 2-3 times out of the year anyway. So is a 3-month ban really that bad? No, not really. That's really a slap on the wrist. I think the hard part is him actually taking the W off of his resume, and people looking back on his box record and seeing that no contest or no decision, and just wonder why. You know what I'm saying? It just looks like a stain on your record. You know what I mean? On your box rec, whenever I see like a no contest or a no decision, it's just ugly, man. It's just it's not a loss. You know what I mean? It's not a draw, but you know, it's like a little stain on your jacket. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it, and it's just unfortunate that we still stuck in these times where people are getting penalized for using a drug that's recreational and used for medical purposes that's actually helping people. You know what I mean? But that's my thoughts on the situation. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. Keyshawn has to be a little bit more responsible with how he moves outside of boxing and while he's in camp, because we've seen that they just took a hard-earned win from you. You know what I mean? They just took a hard-earned win from you, and you just blew opportunity against Jose Pedraza, who's a former world champion that fought Tank Davis, fought Lomachenko, Arnold Barbosa, has been world champion multiple times. You know what I mean? So you could have really been in a position where you could have really shined and raised your stock in the game, but because you decided to make that decision, they had to pull you back from that. You know what I mean? And you don't know if you're gonna get that decision, if you're gonna get the opportunity again, uh, anytime soon against Pedraza, because he might take on a fight to cover that December date, and then he might not be available early in the year, and it could be a whole mix up. You know what I mean? You might not get the opportunity again. You might get that opportunity later down the line. Don't get it wrong, but I'm saying against a former world champion who's battle tested like Jose Pedraza, who's fought some solid guys, and I think only been stopped once against Gervonta. You know what I mean? That's an opportunity that you let slip by because of your actions. So what I'm gonna tell Keyshawn is you gotta tighten up, man. If you're being influenced by people in your circle to smoke marijuana, you got to get rid of them. Definitely got to get rid of them, or just keep them at a distance when you in camp. I understand that using marijuana is not a big deal to you. It's not a big deal to me neither. But at the end of the day, you still got to be responsible. You got to follow the rules that's set in front of you, especially if you're getting paid, and you in a position where you could possibly change your life along with your family's life and create generational wealth. That's a sacrifice. That's another sacrifice out of many that you're gonna have to make in the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do in your downtime. That's nobody's business but yourself. But when you're getting close to the fight, or you're even around a possible training camp, if you're anywhere near a fight date, just leave that shit alone altogether, man, because it sounds like they're not getting rid of marijuana off their ban list anytime soon. But that's my opinion on the situation, man. I know I was talking for a little while. I hope you guys enjoyed this video that I just put out for y'all. I'll be back with a couple more videos speaking on the Andrade and Benavidez fight, because it's 4 weeks away from today. You know what I mean? So we definitely got to get to talking about it. But until then, this is Mazuma TV. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for checking in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.